got it so far ahead so early that TNT wasn't able to bring it back.
Alright, let's look at these bans now. On the blue side, Ezreal and Zinzal banned out, and on the red side, Kog'Maw and Lux. Looks like they already figured out Kog'Maw. They don't want to deal with it. As soon as he gets 2 items, and even in lane before that, he's a nuisance. And once he hits the Rage Blade, Gunzo's Rage Blade, and Hurricane, he can just stand there and meltate the entire team. I don't know if the Lux ban is
It's somewhat a target ban against Mother Brain, but also Lux, very high win rate in mid lane right now, a lot of damage. Pantheon coming out as the final ban. We saw that have some mixed success last week. And Brahm's the first pick.
Yes. Fiora banned out. Again, that should be pick or banned. She's really broken. Blue team's going to really prioritize Braum. It looks like red team's going to pick up Ari
and Soraka. Satan herself. We saw Adrian play it in the LCS, of course, to devastating effect. One of those champions everyone hates to see. No one wants a Soraka in their game.
I mean, she can just heal. All the damage you get done to is just healed. It's negated. You have to kill the champion 5 times over before to actually kill him.
But look at this strong bot lane coming out of Tell No Tales. Not Tell No Tales. Yeah, Tell No Tales. I was right. Lucian Braum, of course, Lucian can proc that Braum passive very easily. We'll see what their other pick in this rotation is.
I'm expecting to be a jungler. They would show nothing away in their composition, picking a jungler, trying to save out the middle and top, trying to pull out from the red team so they have somewhat of a counter pick. They pick Ari in the first lineup, so they can probably pull out their mid laner.
And they take the Jarvan 4. It could be a Jarvan 4 jungle or top. STL Cards does have the smite, but we're not sure if that champion is for him. It's also a takeaway from Patrick. He played that champion last week in the top lane, did tons of damage, throwing down the Cataclysm, one-shotting targets. He will not be able to do so this week, and Death War Blue locks in that Tristana.
Yeah, that's a weird pick. Tristana's not really that popular in solo queue.
He does play Death War Blue. I play with quite a bit. He is an avid Tristana player. Tristana and Draven, his 2 main champions, neither of which is particularly meta right now, but in the right situation, could go well. Gonna have a lot of protection from that Soraka. Are we gonna see a Kog'Maw? Not a Kog'Maw, Shogat. Or Teemo. I think we're getting some trolling.
Yeah, Tristana, she's gonna be safe. Late game hyper carry. One thing about Tristana is they can definitely take towers and siege towers, which is definitely still in the meta about sieging and getting down towers, since the second tier 3 towers and tier 2 towers are weaker. Tristana will definitely be able to put a bomb on him and take him down. Looks like Mother Brain is trolling him with the Teemo and the Clairvoyance. Yes.
And
let's see what the lock is.
Alright, we do have a lock. We have Cho'Gath and Lissandra. Lissandra going mid, and that will be a J4 jungle. Cho'Gath top has made somewhat of a comeback lately. Usually start Roa, build a little bit of AP, go pretty heavy tank from there.
Ooh.
Is that an Alawi? That's an Alawi.
Alawi?
Is this the first?
I call her Tentacle Lady, but Alawi works for me.
I think this is the first Alawi pick so far this season.
Alawi's definitely, I want to talk about this. Alawi's a very niche champion. If you can, it takes a lot of setup to get her to work in team fights, because one, you have to put a lot of tentacles down for her ultimate and for tentacles to be effective, and that takes about I don't know what her passive time is, but
it's a pretty long cooldown.
It is a long cooldown, but you gotta go around and get those tentacles set up, which can easily be taken out. So it takes some setup time. She's definitely a lane bully. If she gets ahead in lane, she can just snowball that lane, and she's very good on 2v1 situations. So if someone wanted to come up and gank her, she can definitely defend herself.
I think the Alawi really is the linchpin of this team that Team Soulbot has drafted, because they're going to rely heavily on her using her E, turning someone into a vessel, and using those tentacles to engage fights, probably with Nautilus also. That does mean it's a Nautilus jungle. Not a particularly strong pick in the jungle right now. That teamfight presence will be strong.
Yeah, I played Nautilus jungle in solo queue myself up in gold elo. It's pretty good. It just takes a very slow clear speed. Once you get Sunfire, you can very easily clear the camps with your E. But it's mostly just bringing CC to the table and if another front line allows to also another front line tank. But it's going to be hard. I think what they're planning on is just having Alawi and Nautilus sit in front of them, trying to get some CC down on that line with Rocket healing the tanks. You can't kill the tank, you can't get to the back line, and then Tristana and Ari just bouncing around back and forth trying to kite.
Yeah, it does look like it'll be a bit more of a siege comp from the red team. It is a little bit disjointed, I think, between objectives here between Ari and Tristana. Ari not particularly good at sieging turrets, a little better at making picks. Whereas on the blue side, this is a team fight comp, straight up.
Oh, yeah.
That Wassandra can go straight in, lock down anyone she wants. You got knockups from Cho'Gath, from Jarvan, and Braum, and Lucian going to be spitting damage as long as they peel.
Yeah, and I actually like if they overlap their CCs pretty well, it's going to be devastating. What I see from them going in is what they have to do is if Lysandra goes in first, ults herself, or ults one of the team players, gets them all slow, J4 follows up with his Cataclysm, traps some people, and then Braum will follow up, layer the CC down more with the slow, and then Cho'Gath can also knock him up with Lucian shooting him in the backline. But with the Cataclysm, you have two of their main champions, all the damage deals with Tristana. Tristana has an escape with either a flash or her E, but if she uses her E, then her E is done for unless she gets a kill off, and then Ari with her ult. So they have two champions that can't escape, and if you put Alawi down in ult, she can tentacle. She can just ult off that, and tentacles can spawn off of J4's Cataclysm. So that might be actually a help for her.
Yeah, and we do tend to refer to Alawi as a tank, but you cannot underestimate the amount of damage she's going to be putting out, especially if she gets a couple tentacles down in the middle of that fight. You can see people getting chunked half health by a couple tentacles slapping them down at the same time.
Yeah.
Hopefully that would be worst case scenario for this blue team, to get a 4 or 5 man Alawi ultimate right on top of them.
I definitely agree.
Hopefully they can play around it.
Yeah, 30 seconds till we get into game. We're not like the LCS where we can just hop right into game. We have a little bit of a delay. So, Cho'Gath, I just want to also say he has once he gets his feast going, he has like a true damage of 400 to start off with. Basically smite and ultimate that can just kill anybody.
On a fairly low cooldown also, especially by rank 3.
Yes, and if he does it, eats it on minions or monsters as well. I expect a bloodbath, and that's what I love. I love bloodbaths. I love team fights.
We're hoping for a clown fiesta, people.
Yes. Not even a clown fiesta. I want to see a well-organized two team fights that are very organized, that have very specific comps of what they want to do and win conditions, and I want to see them go head-to-head.
More like a clown chess match.
There you go.
All right. Well, we will be getting into game here shortly. Loading screen is up. We're going to load up the copyright one there.
No, you take this one.
Okay, all right. Stand by.
Stand by. We got to hear in-game sounds.
All right.
We're on the load screen.
Any last-minute notes about these two teams?
You said the red team with Team Solo Bot. Do you know the synergy between them, or what exactly?
Death War Blue,
do you know?
Death War Blue and George the Slayer are both good friends of mine. We usually play together, the three of us. George the Slayer, not a support main. He is actually a top lane main. Support is a secondary role for him. This will be the first time I've seen him play Soraka, I think, ever. So this could end up pretty interesting. He's more of a Leona Braum player. The Braum, of course, was taken away.
Now, I don't know if this is an accident, but Nautilus is going Graspy Undying, and he's jungle. I think that's a sub-bar pickup for his... I just want to pull out his Keystone Mastery there. Usually all junglers, especially tank junglers, go Strength of the Ages, which gives you basically a free giant spell later on, plus all the benefits you get from killing big monsters and siege minions.
Yeah, as we saw today in the LCS, that Keystone Mastery is actually spreading to supports also to take Relic Shield, getting that bonus health. It's a very large amount, far more beneficial than Bond of Stone in a lot of situations.
Yes.
Kind of rearrange so we got everyone where they're supposed to be.
Yes. Yeah, I know. The game, let's see, we're going to get this game going. They're all going to be loading in. We're just rearranging, making it look pretty for you all. Wire off, man, cameraman.
All right, and interesting buy right off the bat, we have a amulet coin on Soraka rather than a Spell Thief's Edge. She's not going to be building Spooky Ghosts.
Yeah, That is going to be an interesting. Usually, you want to go Spooky Ghost to slow people down, and that's actually the optimal, really good item. I don't know. Maybe they're going to make up for that with Ari going Spooky Ghost because Spooky Ghost or Frost Queen's Claim still gives you insane mana regen. On the second buy, the Frost Fang. If you buy Frost Fang, which is the upgraded version of the first one, I don't know what the first one's called, I forget, it's all Frost Queen's Claim, but if you buy the second version of it, it gives you like 100% mana regeneration, which is already better than Marilla Melicon and the Athenes. So, but I think maybe Ari might go that, just because of she can use the slow to catch someone out, charm them, and then do her combo. And then Raka goes Ancient Coin just to get the passive. I think she wants a very passive lane. And then to speed to give them a little speed boost for Nautilus and Alawi to catch up, and Ari. So I think they're looking to chase some people down. Blue team is going to be doing an invade down here, dropping down wards and trying to get an early red buff. Or no, never mind.
They're in their own jungle.
Blue team's
got a lot of dancing
jungle.
going on.
They're just dancing. I'm thinking blue team's on the red side.
Already calling to report Ari for feed. By Ari, actually. We're going to have standard starts for everyone, which I'm glad to see. I much prefer standard. Interesting, starting the red buff for the blue team.
And that tells you J4 is going to be ganking an early lane, or he's going to be doing an invade. And I think they're going to be doing an invade on the Nautilus just because of the slow clear speed of that Nautilus, and you're able to counter junk pretty easily.
Red side bot lane, going to get to lane a little bit faster.
Which means they're going to hit that level 2 power spike. Alawi already throwing down her tentacles. And her Q actually gives her health back, plus Grasp of the Undying, so she's going to be hard to kill up there in the top lane. Braum lands off on the Q, just poking back Raka, saying, hey, I'm here, I can hit you.
It's Raka hanging out in the bush.
Looks like J4 is going to be doing an invading, going to miss his E and Q combo. Nautilus is still going to hit blue buff, they're going to be fighting over the blue buff. I know the
Ari's coming around behind.
And looks like Nautilus gets the smite down on the blue buff. Ari's going to come in from behind with Raka chasing up. So this is going to be a collapse on J4. Soraka's going to throw down the heal. EQ combo on Ari. Lysandra and Lucian following up. Q comes out from Ari, and everyone's going to escape with their lives.
Nothing happens. Interesting little antics by J4 there. And it's great to note that both teams were backing up their junglers in that situation. They are communicating and they are paying attention.
Yes. It is going to be a little bit slower start for the junglers now. Nautilus is still tanky. Maybe he'll be able to get the wolves. J4 is going to pick up that Krug down in Dragon to get some health back and go to the Raptors. So they don't have to fully back. Alawi is going to be pushing Cho'Gath into the lane, which is... she's just going to be bullying him all match, honestly, until Cho'Gath can get some help. But Cho'Gath will be able to sustain thanks to his passive every time he last hits a minion.
Oh, gets hit by the E.
Alawi's going to pull out the, I don't even want to say clone, Spirit? I don't know what she calls it. I think it's called a Spirit.
She does manage to... No, she does not manage to kill it. Cho'Gath does not become a vessel.
And if Vessel, Spirit Vessel. So Spirit. But if she does, what happens is that when she pulls out that Spirit with her E, if the Spirit dies or Cho'Gath gets out of range, then he becomes a vessel, which means he has to destroy, or him and his team now, it's changed, have to destroy 3 tentacles that spawn, because tentacles will spawn up near him and try to hit him automatically, being a vessel, no matter where he's at on the map, unless he or his teammates destroy 3 tentacles.
I actually was not aware of that change, and that's a pretty significant nerf to this champion that the team can help him destroy. That was a lot of the strength of the vessel CC that only he had to destroy them, so if his team intervened, he would stay a vessel for longer. Soraka back up to full health, actually. Lucian's going in, but Tristana jumps out. They're going to get the lockdown on George.
Heal's getting burned by Tristana.
And the flash for first blood. Tristana still has passive on her. She's safe.
Smart move by going for Raka. A lot of people don't do that. They go for the 80 carry and try to get down to damage, when in turn they should actually go for the Soraka, and she's dealing all. She actually cost her health to heal people. So and she's very squishy. So what you want to do is you want to kill the Raka, so she can't heal, and she's very squishy, and she has no heals herself. So it burned a flash on Lucian and a heal on Tristana. I didn't know the other summoner spells, so they got burnt there as well.
Bug taking a tower shot. George Death is pretty content to farm under turret. He's actually 2 creeps up despite his support dying, but we have to account for the CS that Braum took.
Looking at CS here, it's all around the same. They're still keeping up farmed. 28 to 24 in the mid lane, 20 and 27 in the top. Cho'Gath's just picking up every little CS he can underneath the tower. He's just trying to play as safe as he can. She's spawning tentacles, getting ready for that 2v1 that might come up to the top lane. She has it warded. She's just going to be punishing him a little bit.
She is out of mana, though. Her aggression will be taken back somewhat. And no jungler showing signs of ganking just yet. Nautilus actually going in on the bottom side of blue side's jungle. Oh, didn't want that button. Go away.
Rip.
There we go. Alright, sorry about that. As I was saying, Nautilus looking like he was doing some counter jungling on the enemy Raptors. He gets spotted out, and he's just gonna... Well, I missed that one.
Fight down. It looks like a Braum.
Fight in the bottom lane. Ends in a
J4.
double kill. Actually gonna
so we can watch
go back and check that out.
So it looks like Braum goes up, throws down the Q on Raka. Again, they focus down on the Raka. Get the passive down. Tristana's trying to get off as much damage as she can. She can't get off as much damage. Braum procs her passive on, and J4 flashes, follows up. So it's just a gank, overextension, and nice use of the Braum passive. Now, one thing I do want to point out, Nautilus did buy the Smite Stone, which will give him 2 free wards, or trinket wards to use, so more warding coming out from the red team, while J4 has not bought his jungler item yet. He's actually went with 2 long swords. It got him, so it shows the aggression that he wants to go onto.
Oh, mistimes the rupture just slightly.
Yes. But one thing I want to note is if you don't buy your second half of your jungler item, it doesn't give you that 15% increase on, 15 more experience that you kill per creep. Each part of that jungle item, the Hunter's Talisman and the Machete, gives you plus 15 experience. This is the charm, this is the Q. Just a farm fest out here in the mid lane. We haven't seen really too much 1v1s.
And going back to that fight in the bottom lane, there was no vision for Team Solo Bot in that river. J4 was able to just walk in, get his full combo down on Soraka, who was already a bit low, I think, probably from a little bit of skirmishing.
Ooh, lands the charm. Q goes in, hits the W. Lissandra has to ult herself. Nautilus is going to ult, which is going to stun her, but she's going to E out.
Nice escape by Lissandra.
Yes, very nice. Playing the E, ulted herself so she couldn't get stunned.
I believe Cho'Gath just used his ult accidentally on Alawi. So no passive stacks for him there.
No. But it does show him he ain't afraid. Maybe it's just a fear tactic. I'm gonna go with fear tactic.
I think it was an accident. I think she actually leaped in right in front of the CS he was trying to eat.
His name is Fierce.
Next level strats by
Patrick.
By Alawi.
LCS. Pulls out the Spirit Vessel, gonna whack it. Every time she uses her W, you'll smash the Spirit, which will allow Tentacles to smash the Spirit Vessel or whatever she attacks with her Legion.
And
so this bot lane's kind of struggling a little bit. Lucian's already up about 13 CS on Tristana and has a kill and 2 assists. Braum has all 3 assists, 100% kill participation with the Braum. Again, I think they're using the passive stacks wisely. It's going to be kind of a hard lane to come back from, especially with Triss being a little bit hard or weaker during the early game than Lucian, and more of a late scaling champion.
She's substantially behind right now with a pickaxe as opposed to Lucian's BF sword, and Lucian, very oppressive laner, especially with a support like a Braum who's able to back him up, protect him. This is not going to be easy.
Yes. Again, I'm wondering if I'm really curious of how much prep times the team actually put into these weeks and what their team comps are going to be. Because this is just a very niche team comp with the Cho'Gath top lane, the J4 jungle. It's not something you'd see often. Unless they know something about 6.3 that I don't.
Braum hiding in the bush might go for a cheeky Q here on... Does get hit up. That's going to be a... He might be dead again. Knockback from Tristana, backing her support up. So many ultimates being burned.
Catalysm coming out.
Soraka goes down again.
Again, they're focusing the Rock, a smart move. She's the weak one. Nautilus went in for the counter gank, but he realized he couldn't do anything, so he backed off because he didn't want to die.
And let's look here. Red team actually did have vision that gank was coming in, so total misplay getting caught like that.
Yeah. Again, I think Raka, they need to realize, the red team, that they're going to be focusing her, and they need to have Raka place a little bit more farther back than Trist. Say, Trist, you take the damage. Whatever damage you take, I'll be able to heal you. You know, I got you. And keep that Raka alive. If you keep the Soraka alive, then she'll be able to heal the frontliners, and the frontliners will never die. Therefore, they'll be able to win team fights. I think it's all based around Raka healing the front line so that they can survive and keep pushing forward against this team fighting team.
Yeah, and it's really turned into quite the CS discrepancy in that bottom lane. Now down over 20 CS to that Lucian.
Yes. One thing I do want to point out is between the blue side and the red side, blue side has a lot more burst champions. Their team comp's a lot burstier. So when they fight, it's going to be all front-end damage. And then if red team can survive that front-end damage, they have more of a sustained damage with the Tristana that doesn't do a lot of burst, the Alawi, the Ahri that's able to bounce around and hit the Qs and the autos, compared to just the front-end loaded burst damage, when red team has more of a back-end type damage team comp that they're running when they do get into team fights, if that makes sense at all, Fletch. Talking about front ends and back ends.
Front ends and back ends. And, you know, we commented on the front line the red team is running, but we have something similar on the blue side with that Cho'Gath and Braum, and to some extent J4. J4 looks like he's building damage, but
I think he's just going to go the Warrior and then maybe Titanic Hydra and straight tank. It wouldn't be a lot of top laners, J4 top laners go just Glass Cannon,
straight
full
damage, Yumu's,
but,
penetration,
yeah,
dunk 'em.
Yeah, but jungle, I think it's more safer to go tank. And one thing to note, both teams do have silences in their kits with the Raka silence and the AoE Cho'Gath silence, which is a big thing. If you want to talk about the warding patterns, it looks like red team's putting out a pink ward down in the river. They have wards down all along the river, while blue team has more of a focused wards around the dragon, plus the scuttler. So not that many wards coming out from both sides, even with Smite Stone coming out from Nautilus. And Nautilus will start hitting his power spike. What he should do is go finish the Cinder Hulk, get Frozen Heart, and then lock it. Or unless Raka's going to build the lock it or Banshee. He just needs to build tank. Straight tank.
Lucian
or
clears the
Deadmans.
wave. Looks like blue side's probably going to back off here. Take his lead to the bank. Cash in.
Nautilus is going to come around, fund it, going to clear out that blue ward over there in the tri-bush. Braum's going to get down the passive, come along. 1, 2 proc, 3 proc, 4 proc. Gets the proc down, doesn't too much damage. Nautilus is tanking, gets the grass speed undying. Ult, knocks up the ult.
J4's combo is interrupted by Nautilus ult. Teleport's coming in. This is a team fight.
Team fight. Alawi gets the spirit. They're going to focus the spirit vessel. She's out of the range, so the spirit.
And
Lysandra is a vessel. Ahri gets in. Will this be a dragon? Braum's the vessel. So good time silences. So it looks like this is going to be a red dragon. Yep, red team secures the first dragon, unless J4 wants to do something, probably not. So that's going to be a first dragon down for the red side. Nice little pickup there. Some teleports burned. Nice interruption. Was a really key Braum ult and Nautilus ult onto Lucian.
She predicted the
gets
claw.
Caught, has to ult herself. Looks like she's going to maybe E afterwards. Has the flash. Misses the spirit vessel. Alawi misses the ultimate. So there's no ultimate on Alawi. J4 goes in, hits the Alawi. Cho'Gath's coming back down around. So we have no ultimate on Alawi. And Ahri's down.
We've been seeing some actually pretty high-level play here that's just not amounting to anything. If you saw, Ahri charmed Lysandra at the end of her claw. Actually managed to hit that skill shot. Very impressive. But Lysandra, pretty safe champion, ulted herself, got out.
And I want to talk about that bot lane fight. Nautilus actually ended up ulting Lucian, and Lucian went backwards into his team. So every champion it passes through also knocks up. So that actually interrupted the J4 EQ combo that was going to get onto Raka and Tristana in the front line. So actually probably saved him a little bit. Has to flash out. Saw J4 was coming. Clearing out tentacles. This is where Cho'Gath is. He got his Rite of Ages 14 minutes in. So he was farmed up really good. Again, 14, 13 minutes is where you want to typically get your Rite of Ages to get it be cost effective since games are so fast now. It'll stack up by 23, 24 minutes. And
he's getting large. He's
getting large. And he's going to be able to bully back this Earlawi.
You know, in terms of distribution of kills, J4, very fed.
Yes.
That's 3 kills onto the J4. He's going to be doing a lot of damage when he gets onto that back line.
Yeah, he's actually going Challenger Smite, so he does more damage and takes less damage. I think he's going to be trying to get down there. Tristana looks like Brahm's going to throw out his Q, hits the Tristana. Will Lucian follow up? Lucian says, no, I want this one.
And we're just seeing this again and again in the bot lane. Braum is camping that bush, and Soraka is always a little too late to ward it. She's eaten that Q a couple times, and that's resulted in some of her deaths.
Yes, and
she
Braum
needs to watch herself.
Yeah, and Braum is actually still 100 kill participation. It's all relying on Braum's passive. That's how they're getting called out, and that's how they're securing the kills. Braum, very strong support. A lot of pick ban, not even ban, but picks picked up in the LCS. Lucian's going to go in. Looks like Tristana's a little bit too far out without her support. Raka's going to heal up. Double gap coming out. Silence is going to get thrown down. Ultimate heal burn. Q comes out. They're going to throw out the Q but miss. Too many heals.
That was actually not as much burnt as I would have expected to escape that. Tristana was solo farming, which she probably should not have been doing in the first place, but she doesn't have to burn her flash or her heal. Both ultimates used, but...
Pulls out the Spirit Vessel. Looks like she's going to ult to get that down. She wants to fight. Looks like Nautilus is going to come out. Nautilus is going to ult. I think that's a waste of an ult for Nautilus, but they secure the kill on Cho'Gath, which knocks down his stacks by half.
Very key kill coming in the top lane. And now we're seeing maybe why this Alawi was picked up by the red team.
Yeah, I do. Ooh, looks like J4's going to come in. They're going to kill the Raka. Again, kill the Raka. Tristana has to E out. The passive still on her. Lucian's taking the turret. Lucian's going to get away. Braum hops, but they're going to look like they're trading turrets. Ari's going to come roaming down. Lucian's very low. Lissandra's following up.
But she's going in solo against 3.
Ooh, has to burn the heal.
She's going to go down as well.
But it does slow down blue team taking that tower. Red team does take the outer turret first, but blue team will secure this tower just at a later time. If you look at the kill, it's only 4K gold lead for the blue team, even though it's 7-1.
Managed to equalize the towers. Still, that Ari going in against 3, gotta wonder what she was thinking.
Yeah, especially with, I don't know if she even noticed Lissandra was still following her, so Lissandra's doing a very good job of following the laners.
Yeah, that's something that you don't see a lot in uncoordinated teams. Sometimes the mid laner will roam and maybe they'll ping it, but they won't follow. And that extra presence really makes a huge difference. Very well done by Lissandra, even though it wasn't needed to follow up.
I want to say, St. Louis Cards, J4, very impressive. He's hitting the EQ combos flawlessly. A lot of J4s in solo queue and lower elo, or even high elo, don't really do that, where it takes them a minute when they throw down their E to Q. His is really flawless, all in a smooth movement.
Red team gonna siege up this mid turret. Not much of a wave.
Double Gat's gonna come out with Sandra Claw. Looks like Raka's too much in the front line. J4 goes in. They're focusing Raka. Alawi throws down the team fight. Looks like Alawi gets the Spirit Vessel. Gonna focus the Vessel. Vessel goes on Lucian.
No one's gone down quite yet. Alawi is destroying the
slapped by Alawi. Sitting there tanking everything. Nautilus comes in. Gets the Cho'Gath. Goes down. Slows down Cho'Gath. Cho'Gath forces the flash. Exhausted on the Cho'Gath. Ari's gonna hit the Q. Silence coming out. Cho'Gath hits the ultimate, eats everybody. Tristana's still in the fight. Oh, big Q coming down. J4 Cataclysm goes down. Double kill for J4. Nautilus sitting the Cataclysm. Still stuns coming out. Triple kill for J4. This is going to get a quadra kill. Nautilus get down. Triple kill. Ace. Lissandra steals it. Very good.
Got a 19-minute ace coming out of Tell No Tales. And that team fight was going so well for Team Solobot until that 3-man Cho'Gath rupture just totally annihilated their back line. J4 came in, put down all of his damage. There was nothing they could do at that point.
Yeah, they were about to get more damage on the Cho'Gath with the Tristana bomb onto it, but again, that Cho'Gath rupture changed everything. He got all 3 of them in it and stopped everything, runs right there, and then J4 was able to follow up with a nice Cataclysm and trap them all.
This has now amounted to over 6,000 gold lead for Tell No Tales.
Yeah, and Tell No Tales was the team that was facing Gorilla got carried with the good team comps. Again, they pull out another good team comp. They're facing to their win conditions this week, which is basically front-end damage, go in. J4 is just basically leading the charge 6-0-5, and they have a lot of stuns, uproots, and CC to stop everything that Team Solo Bot throws at them.
Lucian with the red buff. Red buff Lucian, spooky. That champion is just so good at chasing down kills anyway, and give him a red buff, it just gets so much easier, especially when he's ahead like he is.
Yeah, and I do want to point out, Nautilus and Alawi have been very underwhelming in these team fights. Nautilus, I think, ulting a little bit too early or hitting the wrong champions with his ultimate, and he needs to be walking around trying to stun every single person he can get. But it looks like Red Team's going to try to pick up another dragon, but J4 is going to come and pressure him off it.
Soraka tanked a lot of damage out of that dragon.
Pink ward. Lissandra's going to come up. E-claws down. They're sitting on top of a blue ward, so blue team knows they're doing dragon. They're spawning. Bronq comes out on Alawi. Blue team knows that they're there. Cho'Gath is going to be roaming down.
And Nautilus wants to stay in at the dragon.
I don't know if this is some miscommunication, like stay, 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 no, go, go, go. Should they give it up? They already have one dragon to 0. I would say give it up. They're not able to fight, but tentacles are out. They have the fight coming out. They have the setup with Alawi tentacles, one right there. Alawi, I think, wants to fight 2-1 with the Black Cleaver finish, so she's going to be doing a little bit more damage. She doesn't get the E. That's a big thing. Misses the Q. Bronq landed on Raka.
Soraka's low. I don't think they can take this fight.
No. Clears out that tentacle. And if you notice, Lissandra every fight's trying to get the flank on the back line. Bronq misses. RQ misses. But they do have the scuttle there for that speed. That's very good for dragon fights. Able to very high mobility. But they don't have Triss with them.
And
Lucian's pushing
for
mid lane. So looks like this is going to be a push mid lane while Tristana and Raka go for the bot lane tier 3. Someone has to rotate up to stop Lucian from taking the mid lane tower. Ahri rotates up. J4 is going to
J4 goes in.
She easily ults out. J4 taking tower. Now notice he has a Hex Drinker, so any front end damage. Alawi's going to go in. Alawi ults. Tentacles popping out nowhere.
Tentacles everywhere.
Slapping everybody.
But she's going to go down. The tentacles are useless.
Tentacles sitting there useless, going down. Tristana and Raka saying, don't worry, we got the tier 3. We're going to bounce out, but blue team's going to go with the tier 2. I don't think that's a good trade. I think there's a little bit of miscommunication coming out from Team Solo Bot. Or they're just living up to their name, but Team Duo Bot. But it looks like blue team's saying, hey, we're going to bust down the front door. J4 is going to get not hit by... Cho'Gath is going to take the tower, going to have to walk out. They have the minions there. They can take it. 5-2. Bronq comes out on Ahri. Nautilus misses his Q. Tower stays open. I think they're going to siege for one more wave. Alawi's up in 5 seconds. Double gat coming out. Rocket throws out in the silence. Tower's one hit away. And dead. Nautilus is going to go in. Hits the shield. He's going to land his Q. Nope. Hits the speed boost by Rocket. Gets slowed down from the Bronq. Ruptured.
Such decisive rotations by the blue team. They see that the dragon isn't amounting to anything, so they rotate mid. They get there first, and red team just totally caught out of position.
Yeah, and I don't know if it's miscommunication, but Rock and Tristana were down bot lane taking a tier 3 tower for a tier 2 and a tier 1 tower on the in-him tower for the on the red team side. I don't know why they were down there taking a tier 3 tower, but they are able to pick up the mid lane tower, which is going to open up the map a little bit more. Yeah. And I also want to point out the amount of wards that the red team has in their own jungle is just, there's none. But blue team has it warded up by the bot side and a couple in the river. Red team's going to get down their wards. Looks like they're going to try to fanatic push, but they're going to know they're there. Charm comes out. Q comes out.
Get J4.
Going to slow down. Another ultimate.
He goes down. J4 is down.
Another good rupture by Cho'Gath, hitting 3 of them. Going to push them off. They're going to be forced away. They're going to say, okay, we got Cho'Gath. We got the shutdown. Let's back off. Let's get the dragon. They're going to get the scuttle. Blue team's going to come around, but they got the Raka tentacles set up. They're going to get the cleared tentacles out first.
And that was a lot of shutdown gold that came out from killing J4, but a lot of
another good rupture double guy coming out. Lissandra going to come out, freeze everybody. CC.
Thanks at all.
Brahms going to take the double shield. Alawi goes in. Tentacle lays slapping Qs. Gets ulted by Cho'Gath. That's true damage. Going out. So all is left is Tristana, Raka, Ahri alive on the red team. Cho'Gath, Lissandra, all of them up, but J4 on the blue team. They're going to try to get the scuttle. Going to prepare it for dragon.
And we've been talking a lot about this J4 doing so much for the team, but really the unsung hero of this composition right now is Cho'Gath. These ruptures, really, a lot of them landing, and especially on 2 or 3 or more targets.
Oh, yeah.
Engaging and disengaging for his team.
Yes.
Really well done by Freers.
Yes, I also want to point out Brahms doing a really well job. He's 1-0-10. 11 kills out of 15. You can't knock that with awesome shields. Everyone on the blue team seems to be on the same page. I mean, they're really just taking this game with a 8K gold lead now. Yeah. So they even push down the front door. All they need to do is push down mid, get that inhib, and start rotating some more.
So, what does Team Solobot do to get back in this game?
What Team Solobot needs to do is exactly what they just did. They had a good idea. They wanted to get a pick. They got a pick off the J4. They got the shutdown gold. They open up mid lane now. Now what they need to do is they need to send Alawi top lane, because no one's going to be able to stop his 3-3 Alawi. She's too tanky and she does too much damage. And I think maybe Cho'Gath can stop her, but they need to split this team up. This blue team has too much front end burst damage, and that comes all when they're all together. So they need to split them up somehow. Maybe do a little bit of a 1-3-1 style of a split push and just try to stay alive, or maybe just try to farm. What I do is I just say, hey guys, listen, we need to protect our if they push for the inhib, let the inhib fall, protect Baron, maybe try to get blue team to throw at Baron, and just farm it out. That's all they can do.
Yeah, really, it's a defensive game now for the red team, but it doesn't look like they want to play defensively. They've got a couple members up here near the Baron. They were previously in the enemy team's jungle. They're going to get caught out.
Alawi goes in. Or not Alawi. Lissandra goes in, gets ulted. Alawi hits her ult, but gets knocked ulted by Lissandra. Jeez, too many L's. That's double that coming out to Ahri. Ahri's just going to dash out, ultimate out, 3 dashes. But looks like since Nautilus is down, Nautilus got caught out, Baron's going to go down to the blue team. Again, they're just putting their foot down on their throat.
And, top and jungle just getting caught out there for the red team. Yeah. They had no backup. Everyone else was in the mid lane, I think, clearing minions. And
wrong place at the wrong time.
That's a Baron to an already strong comp, great siege. They're going to be able to push down a lot of towers. I expect a very strong power play.
Yes. Again, they have their foot on their throat. They just need to push it, and they're pushing it down. They're pinging mid lane. They want to go down mid lane with their Baron. I don't know what the red team can do to stop it. Baraka was a good pickup for trying to survive, but it's very underwhelming when she's just getting dived all the time. She needs to stay a little bit more far back. She's a little bit too much in the front.
Really, I think the blue team had the perfect strategy coming into this game. They really put a lot of emphasis on shutting down that bot lane. Yes, the red team made some mistakes in the way they played that lane, but they also had a lot of visits from Jarvan. They even had a couple of visits from some of the solo laners, and they put all of their front-end damage down on the Soraka, going straight to the source of that global ultimate and not allowing her to get it off on the rest of her team. Yeah, very well thought out.
And Alawi, I think, has just been a very underwhelming pickup. They get the spirit out. She throws down the ultimate. It doesn't hit only but one teammate on the blue team. The Alawi ultimates are very questionable in this game, but it looks like gets the spirit muscle. J4 goes in. Cataclysm. Lucian's going to follow up. Oh, Lissandra ults herself, gets the slows out. There's cleaning up now at this point. J4 ultimate's coming out. Alawi's trying to do as much damage as she can. Cho'Gath is way too big, just auto-attacking her. Looking going to be the feast. Throws down the Q, gets aggressive and dying. Hits the Q, or hits the feast. Feast off Alawi. Stick stacks Cho'Gath. J4 trying to dive towers, hits the challenging smite. Looks like they're too greedy. Lissandra gets her charm, gets knocked up by Nautilus ultimate. They pick up 2. It is blue team overstaying, but they still got Baron. Cho'Gath's still tanky, Lucian's still up, and Brahm's still up.
That's an inhib and a Nexus turret, though. Trading 2 for 2 at this point for this team, not too terrible. They could have done better.
Ooh, Ahri flashes the Cho'Gath rupture, gets silenced. Soraka heals.
Just Soraka barely dodging that anchor. Probably wouldn't have turned into much anyway.
No. Soraka heals. Yeah, looks like they found Satan and they went after him.
And important to note, Freers managed to keep all of his ultimate stacks in that fight. He tanked so much and put down so much CC, doesn't go down, still going to be tanky the next time they push into that base. I expect them to prioritize taking down top and bot since they took that middle inhibitor. But let's see what they do.
Yeah, top end bot is pushing in the blue team's favor. Again, with the levels advantage, the minions will be pushing towards the red team at all times because the minions get a little bit of a buff. Thanks to levels advantage and how the minion waves push.
And it looks like they are going to go for the bot lane.
And to make it even easier, I would just send Cho'Gath top lane or someone, J4 top lane, someone top lane, just to split them up. But you can just have all 5 and just die. Honestly, at this point, they could just all group 5 and just die towers. They have one Nexus turret left standing. Nothing's going to be in their way. Cho'Gath can tank towers for days.
Both teleports are up at this point. But it does look like Cho'Gath's going to go ahead and stay with the team. They send Lysandra to the middle lane, it looks like. Or maybe she's just going to circle around.
Tier 2's falling down. Nautilus is going to have to back. Nautilus was out there warding by Baron. Don't know why he was out there warding by Baron when he knows where the team's going to go. Lysandra's going to go in. Tier 2 falling. They're just waiting for the minions. They're pinging the tower saying, hey, bot lane, this is where we need to be. Bromq flies high, flies wide. Static shift coming out double gap to the front of Nautilus's anchor face shield. Bromq lands out. It's Nautilus. No follow-up. I don't know why blue team's afraid. I guess they're looking for the right engage. Lysandra's staying back a little bit. J4 looks like they're just trying to flank the back line. Bromq goes out.
And red team's playing a very dangerous game. They're pushing outside of their base when a single CC would be... They could kill any member of this red team.
And here you go. They're going to try to siege again. Tristana's going to actually have to back off to stop the super minions from taking the last Nexus tower that they own. Alawi's going to come out and try to be the single line of defense, saying, hey, you can't stop me on both. Dragon's up. They're going to try to get that second dragon tower, or second dragon, which the new dragon buff, again, on 6.3 is where they do magic damage burn over 2 to 3 seconds per auto attack. So that'll allow them to take towers faster. Not that they can't already anyway, with the 10k gold lead that they have. So they're just taking every little thing that they can away from the red team. Yeah. 31 minutes in. You know, they didn't take it though. Baron wore off.
It's a little surprising to me.
Yeah.
They're so far ahead, and they still did not really get much off of that Baron buff.
They're still afraid, and the more they wait this out, the more chances red team has to come back. But I guess they just want to back off, try to deny more dragons from the red team. But again, red team with the minions always pushing towards them. We're gonna get more farm, gonna get more gold in their pockets. Ahri's still ahead in Lysandra and CS.
Yeah, slight lead for Alawi also.
Yeah, the CS isn't too
CS
bad for the red team.
For bot and
Ooh,
jungle.
Nautilus Q goes out on Lysandra, but he doesn't follow up with the auto attack, which will stun him and root him in place. She's going to throw down her E. Static Shiv coming out for Tristana to clear waves. So they have more of a wave clear with Tristana coming out, and Tristana scales. Looks like they also have Zeke's Harbinger on Tristana and Raka, so that's going to be more healing for the heals. J4 going to get caught out, rooted down. Nautilus going to ult, but they're going to follow up with the charm. Lysandra's going to ult right in the middle team. Braun's going to ult on top of that. Lucian's going to be sitting there double getting in the face. Nautilus is still, J4 still alive, Hex Drinker pops. Tristana's over there fighting Cho'Gath. Cho'Gath trying to kill Tristana. Raka's healing, they're running away. Blue team comes out with more. Ahri, Nautilus, and Malawi going down. Tristana's fighting, chasing after J4, but it gets locked down by Lysandra.
That's 4 for 0. Only Soraka alive. Not going to be able to clear these waves. Not going to be able to defend herself.
Coming down.
This is probably GG.
Lucian's pushing mid lane. Again, blue team, too tanky, too much damage. They they used all the CC and damage they had on J4, and J4 still didn't die.
It's gonna do a little twerk. Oh, yeah, that game very straightforward coming out of the blue team. They knew exactly what they were gonna do, and they executed it almost flawlessly.
And now you get to see what this team looks like without subs. Last week they had subs, and they gave Girl Got Carried even a hard time, even from behind. Even with subs, now they got their full roster. They put down their foot on their Team Solobot's throat and came out with a very decisive victory.